The world's largest blind population is in India, 15 million and growing. One of the biggest problems that we have in our society is being differently abled and then coming back to the mainstream. As a social entrepreneur, my first tryst with actually working with the differently abled back was in the late 90s, when we had what is called as the societies that we worked in different colleges having some sort of interaction with, meeting people from the different communities and helping in community development work. That got me going into actually what it is to being differently abled and what it is to live in mainstream. When I say mainstream, it's mainstream society. The challenges are plenty, but there are always solutions to that. And that's where I stepped in as an individual, set up what we have today as a formal organization and a couple of them. And that's when the journey started. Breaking barriers, building dreams. That's the concept today. And why is there a dolphin shown? All this will be answered in the next few minutes. Dreams. All of us have dreams. We dream uh, of having a better life. We dream of better education. We dream of having a family that is supportive. Even the differently able, including the blind, dream. That's when it struck me that, back in the day when I was working with the communities and then with the visually impaired, that all of us have that dream in us. And can that be actually realized with what we actually are attempting to do? In 2002, formally, myself and my colleague set up an organization in Kochi. I'm a social entrepreneur otherwise. I work in an IT, I run my own IT company last 25 years. And people around was wondering, why is this young man back then chasing this particular dream? Why is he involved with working with the visually impaired? Nobody in my family is visually impaired. Nobody around us was luckily, living in such a situation. But when I looked around, a lot of people were actually struggling to come back and to mainstream. Formally, once set up, this organization called Society for Rehabilitation of Visually Challenged took up this mandate of economically rehabilitating the visually impaired into mainstream jobs. Today, we are successfully working across communities. We have a full-fledged blind orchestra, which travels and makes money for themselves. This is an 8-piece orchestra based in Cochin, where we travel and empower them in actually music rehabilitation. Played more than 500 shows in India and abroad. We've realized that not all people can actually, amongst the visually impaired, sing. So maybe an option to actually work on computers or sedentary jobs, sitting jobs as an opportunity, medical transcription, legal transcription jobs, back office jobs. And India was buzzing at that time, early 2000s. So we set up a call center format. And today we actually successfully employ 15 people full-time from the blind community in Cochin and several across who have actually successfully trained and got employed by us in back office and seating jobs, which does not involve much of mobility. The third project is actually a project that involves monsieur work, which is reflexology work. The sense of touch which a visually impaired has is brilliant. So we enhance that, thought of a way where we can actually have the visually impaired integrated into society where they can do small physiotherapy jobs, foot and neck massage. And today we are successfully working across, again, when I say across, in India as well as in Kerala as well as in India, with small-time reflexology jobs where they can employ differently able people also along with them. The fourth is where I am here today, and that's where the dolphin comes in. The Gangetic dolphin today, which we find in parts of UP and Bihar, is actually blind. They, because of the murky waters of the Ganges, apart from pollution, the Ganges being murky, the sense organ of the eye has got just a murky vision, and they've gone down the generation into being totally blind. They listen to what is called echolocation on the sides, know where to find their fish, and they fish with what is called as refracting sound from across their sides. This we amplified, and today we have what is called as a full-fledged Indian blind football team. And we call them the Blue Dolphins. The concept of blind football in India didn't exist in 2013. I used to play a bit of football on the weekends, found a group of people who are, again, my group of people are mostly visually impaired because of the work that I do. This college team said, "Sir, can we also play football like you?" I said, "Absolutely, but how can that be possible? How can a blind person play football?" Then found out there's something called as a ball specific for the visually impaired. And then you can actually have a specific ground for this. You have a safe place. You have rules specific for this. And that's when the movement for the blind football in India started. Today, Down the line, we have moved quite well, played competitive sport in several spheres, taken the team across, including meeting huge challenges as well as international tournaments. This is from the Hangzhou Para Games in 2023 in China. We've moved the blind football movement into spaces which is not existent. We are in 24 states in India out of 28. We have a database of nearly 750 boys who play, men who are successfully playing with us. We also have women players. And from there, the blind football movement in India started officially. In the past 13 years, made strides, taking them into international tournaments, and also looking at opportunities where they can come back into mainstream and get employed in society. It's difficult as we see it. Not everybody is going to be as passionate as few individuals to do this, but we want to find out what it takes to the government also to come in, and we have given a lot of actually opportunities with scholarships, small jobs in companies, hospitals across the space in India. Like I said, we are in 24 states. Now back to the dream. I was once with a visually impaired person, a footballer, and he says, I said, in my curiosity, in my innocent curiosity, I said, when you play football, don't you feel scared that you're totally blind and you're running against each other? Because there were some instances where some of these boys had severe injuries. They said, no, we don't know the size of the opponent. We don't know how far or where the opponent would be. Our only sound is the coach as well as the goal guide, where we naturally need to go and strike the ball. And that is where our dream was. This is so brilliant. When I thought, we have dreams where we want to buy a better designer's suit or a better another a sports car, or building a better house or a better life abroad. These people live on that day-to-day dream of playing this game, taking that stride by stride into where they are, and ensuring that they can come back and do better in that limited space. And they're not scared of what they have to do. I researched a bit, found out this is actually a research topic in Carnegie Mellon, where they also have people who do research on just why the blind people dream. And that's when this whole sweet dream of mine took off. Thought, if these people also have their dreams, why not society try and integrate them into what they can do and help them take these places? Again, that's when the stumbling block comes in. We have infrastructure and lack of infrastructure. We have society which is not conducive. We have the government which is not yet fully woken up, but we want them to wake up. We are trying our desperate ways to actually include them, and found out that blind football is one of the mediums of moving forward. Now, what is blind football? I'm just holding a ball here so that curiosity is fulfilled by all of us. This is a game played by a ball which has got bells inside. Like I said, this is officially acknowledged world over. We have the game played in more than 70 countries in the world. It's a Paralympic sport, so that it's an elite game in itself. So we have people who do play at the premium level, which is the elite level, representing the country. And this is a ground which is of space of 20-meter width by 40-meter length. And these boards along the sides are side-boarded. This is the girls team that we started in 2022. We have now, like I was mentioning, more than 250 girls who play also the game. And this is each of this is a specific story. Getting them onboarded, bringing them out of their houses. We had our youngest prodigy, the female who plays for the country now, is 14. When she was 13, she scored for India. She's part of this team. She's right in the center. We have a lot of success stories with these girls coming out from their homes, trying to beat those shackles at home, saying that, we cannot get out of their house, but can you also play? I had to answer calls from parents to, school authorities. I had some of these girls come with their homework when we have camps and tours. But the journey has been brilliant. And that's an inspiration for us each day to take this forward. But like I was saying, not all dreams are actually sweet. There are stumbling blocks. There's a whole pressure on you to actually get them to a space for their success. But blind football, we thought, was a huge medium and a challenge in itself that we can overcome. When I say we, this is the few individuals like us who work together as a team, including the goalkeepers who are sighted. Actually, the goalkeepers who play with there are 5 people in a team. The 4 are totally visually impaired, blindfolded, like you would have seen one of those pictures having a blindfold. Some of these people also have a little, they wear these glasses because in case they have a little point of sight, they kind of cover it with these blindfolds that they wear. And the goalkeepers are sighted, like I was mentioned. Now, having come across a number of other opportunities down the line, for the differently abled that can actually be slotted in. There are different games for the differently abled. Like cricket is a popular game, judo is popular. There is actually a chess game for specific for the blind with braille tactile boards which are specific for that, which is also popular. But we find that football, because of the engine that it is, captures a lot of attention from the people around, the corporates, the society in general, and that becomes an engine to which volunteers get sucked in, people who are like-minded want to contribute get sucked in, and that's when this whole engine can take it forward. Going forward now, the visionary dream of ours is to actually get this game amplified, grown across the country. We are now almost covered, but we want more people to come on board, take this forward, but also ensuring that people who come on board stay with us, and for which we need some formal support. We're working on that. We have the government missionary also taking up a bit of the challenge, but starting academies across the country, and the goal being to vocationally skill them. If we can vocationally skill them in a specific life skill, which can be, like I said, mentioned, the music skill, or a reflexology skill, or a computer skill, this is something that we can actually take this forward with them for a long time. We've already done this model in Cochin, where we are. We have similar centers coming up in Ahmedabad, one in Shillong, and hopefully one in Dehradun soon. And hopefully this becomes kind of, we spread across the country and have these boys and girls who play with us come on board, more people come on board, so that this whole thing becomes a movement. Again, challenges are plenty. We have like I mentioned, the government support, which was actually supposed to happen down the line, that didn't happen. But we're hoping that our good intent, our good performance on the ground speaks for us, and so that becomes an opportunity for more people to come on. There are different tournaments that we host. In 2022, we hosted the first ever Asian Blind Football Championships in India, this again in Kochi. In 2023, we hosted the 10-nation men's tournament again in Kochi. And in 2025, this week actually, we host in September the Nations Cup for six men teams are playing, which is the Nations Cup in Kochi again. And the Women's World Cup we are bringing into Kochi again in October 2025, which is as early as next week. With this, thank you. With this, what we want to do is show to the world that India is here. We have arrived. We have performed. And this is a mega chance for people like all of us being part of society, different strata, whatever it is, to come at one platform, cheer these girls and boys on, so that they come back and perform more for the country. Again, blind football, like we know, it's not the only thing that the visually impaired can do. They can also work in multiple spaces, like I mentioned about the music piece, the call center piece. We have success stories coming in through, and that's where I want to just mention the success stories piece. The captain of the women's team, she's right now in the center. She comes from a small village in Bharuch in Gujarat. She works with the Bank of India. She tells me, Sunil sir, I don't think I can tell my parents that I'm playing blind football. I was like, why? You're actually captaining the team. So maybe this is your biggest opportunity to tell the world that you're doing this. No, sir, they don't believe in what I do. And it's also difficult to convince my parents and the people around that blind football is something that I want to do for life. She's all charged up. She's a totally blind person. She's now part of our unit. Killingson Marak, who was also part of our team in one of those picks that I had put through. Killingson is also the captain of the Indian team. Killingson comes across from Meghalaya, from the Tura Hills in Meghalaya. He was an orphan when we first met him in 2013. And he said, sir, I want to play, but he was a strong guy. He was actually fit to move around, but the school, basically the temporary monastery where he was, the orphanage where he was staying was saying, no, we cannot do much, but try and take him. Can you get him out of here? So that gave me this idea saying, why not we start an academy so that these people can be housed full time and train with us. We didn't have much of an opportunity back then, but luckily, because of the base that we have in Kochi, found a space. And from there, we actually produced this person who's today the India captain. He scored 3 hat tricks for India. Goes back to Meghalaya. The only good thing is the Indian Blind Football Federation letters carry weight with the local state government. So I keep writing these letters to all the players who play with us. He stays with his aunt and now has a family, has a baby, etc. And to date, we find that he's made a small house with the money that he got from the government in Meghalaya. He's taken his aunt and he's staying there. We have other success stories down the line. We have another Gujarati player. His name is Vishnu Waghela. Vishnu's story is another huge one because Vishnu comes across, he used to take a small loan to actually go from his village to his town in Ahmedabad. So he used to come to Ahmedabad to actually play at a center we actually help at. And he used to quietly not even have like a proper meal because he has to get back to his village on time. So I asked him one day, Vishnu, why don't you stay overnight and continue the camp? No, sir, because my family wants me home, and that was a huge challenge. We found out that, of course, the parents lack belief in what they do. So we want to make sure that that is also something that we actually want to address. In Meghalaya, we had one success story where there was no balls or even the ball that I was just showing you. There were no balls or even kits to play for the young boys. We found plastic bottles with mud and sand inside where they used to shake it, roll it, and the kids used to run around and play. That was the only goal of identifying how a blind football is. Today, Meghalaya produced two players, like I mentioned, Killing and another person, Gabriel. And they used to not even have shoes. So we went to the local shoe store, got these shoes from off the shoe store. I think we picked up 12 shoes and we gave it to these boys, but there were 40 of them. So we said, how will 40 of them wear these shoes? But they found a hack in that where they will wear these shoes and they will play for some time. Again, after 20 minutes, give it to the other person. And it's so mesmerizing for us because from where we come from, it's so given that we have basic equipment. We have things like easy access to whatever equipment infrastructure. But here are people who are deserving, but at the same time, they lack it. As we wind down and looking at the future of sport and parasport in general, there are a few things that from the experience that we have, we want to make sure that happens. We want to ensure that people who come down the sports academies and the parasport facilities, they're given proper training at the grassroots level, support from the local level, voluntary support. We're not talking about financial alone. This can be any sort of manpower, voluntary, what is possible at the grassroots level to the senior level, so that at the elite level of sport, they're taken in and then absorbed by what they do. And here is a beautiful model. We found out that everybody comes back on the same platform where parasport, sighted sport, whatever sport we play should be given that platform. And that is where we head into. Blind football is something that we grew up with, so we love and we want to passionately about. But I want to also add a word about some few other voluntary ideas that we had. I helped in few other occasions, a little bit of tsunami relief work that I had done back in 2002. The Kochi floods that happened in 2018, I was able to put together a call center. We picked up, or at least we were able to pinpoint GPS located more than at least 500 people across the state of Kerala. We did this with Rotary. But what I wanted to leave you with is, it's not just about finding something that someone is speaking about that you need to go attach to. You will have to work or find the niche in what you have, and always think that there is a huge section of people that you can actually contribute back to. And that is where down the line that I realized someone once spoke to me and said, hey Sunil, when you work towards all these goals, what keeps you active? What keeps you charged up? I told them once in my own way, I said, it's better to give than to receive. If you can follow that, maybe this will help Steadfast. It will hold Steadfast and help a lot of us in what we do. Thank you once again.